Hi, welcome to another episode of SEO 911 with me, Ryan Kristomoyono from Tofi Dev. And this episode, we're gonna discuss something very, very important. Boost your visibility with digital PR and SEO. This program is brought to you by SEO Forum Bali 2024. You can come and join us to learn about the SEO evolution. What is the next 8-figure opportunity for you to grow in your business? You can check the event at seocon.id or you can check on the description. And today, for this episodes, we have a very, very important guest. He is the director of SEO from JBH, an award-winning digital PR and SEO agency. He has a unique background. He spent 17 years in law enforcement, where he utilized SEO within the internal system to catch criminals. After developing a chronic asthma, and he transitioned career from law enforcement into freelance of SEO. Okay. Now he leads SEO strategy for a variety of clients from SME to 8-figure business. And today we'll dive deep into the digital PR and SEO. Who can elevate your business visibility. Please help me welcome Andrew Holland. Hi, Andrew.
Hey, how are you doing? Thank you so much for having me on the podcast. I'm really excited to be here and also excited to see you in December as well at the SEO conference.
Likewise, I cannot wait to see you in person, discuss with you with all the changes, all the SEO, your thoughts. I saw your posts everywhere on my LinkedIn, and every post is very insightful. So I'm looking forward to see you in Bali as well. But thank you for having us as your in this podcast. It's an honor for us to have you as the interviewers to talk with you, discussing with you about the digital PR and SEO. But before we discuss, you might tell me more about you. Maybe our listener is not familiar with. They saw your posts everywhere. You're so famous in Indonesian SEO's community, but maybe they want to know more about you. Maybe you can share a bit background.
Well, of course. The hard facts is I'm 45. I'm a 45-year-old married father of two, and I've got two kids. One's 11 and one's 14. And weirdly, my 14 is now 6'2", so far bigger than me and far taller than me. And yeah, I've got a really weird background. And so at 16, I joined the police in Britain. And I joined under what we'd call the cadet scheme. So it was a full-time police employee. I worked at the police stations. We had lots of training courses. The first year was basically mostly training, and then you went in and worked in the police stations the second year, and then you became a police officer at 18. And the idea behind that program was that they wanted young people in the police because that's how you get the most out of people in the police. Start them young, but they felt that the younger people were perhaps maybe a little bit less mature, they needed more support, and the cadet scheme was a way to bring in younger people in the police force, and you give them 2 years of training to get them there. and that's how it worked. And at 18, I found myself as a regular police officer. So in Britain, that's with the big hat on, and the the truncheon and stuff like that. And I did that regular police work for quite some time. And then what ended up happening when I was about 24, I got a job in a department called covert policing. So covert policing, my role was actually a detective, and I was at 24. Bear in mind, I've been in the police force for quite some time anyway. But as a police officer, I've been doing it for quite some time, albeit young. And this role required us to use a search engine. So police forces have search engines, and those search engines are locally based. Well, they did do. I don't know what goes on now. I've been left so long. And in that search engine, basically, it was an entity-based search engine. And my job was to recruit informants to infiltrate criminal groups. And then I would have to get the information off the informants and create content. And that content would be about what the drug dealers were doing, what the burglars were doing, what the fraudsters were doing. And I would have to build links manually. It was like there was a process to do it manually. And then I would have to promote the content. So almost like content marketing. So, and that's what we did, because the informants didn't get paid unless we got results. So what we ended up having to do is that I built this, I used to recruit them. I used to be able to look at the networks, what was going on there, and then pick somebody to perhaps target to turn them into an informant. And it all sounds very glamorous and very James Bond. The reality is far less from that. So, and I did that for some years. Now, I left that department, as I was qualified to be a sergeant and I wanted to be promoted. So I left that to go and do some sergeanting. So I went back into uniform to do some sergeanting, and what basically happened was I ended up doing the sergeanting and staying in uniform. And there was the financial crash of about 2008, and in 2010, police forces restrictive budget. So there was no opportunities for me promoted, and I was left out in uniform land, working in the uniform, working shifts and things, and which was all fine. But I started dabbling in stuff. I was drawn to Google. I was drawn to doing websites, and I started doing that in my spare time. And I started having success. I started getting rankings. I started doing well. I would study things on courses. I would go online and do different courses. And Glenn Allsop was back, even younger than he is now. I remember taking Glenn Allsop's niche cloud living course, which was free. That taught me how to set up websites and hosting and all those kind of things. And then over time, I just kept on dabbling, and I had successes. Now, I sadly developed really bad asthma. So when I developed really bad asthma, I left the police. I retired on ill health, and then I started doing what I would call I started a freelance marketing business. But what I did was join an SEO course called SEO That Works, and it was run by Brian Dean, who is from Backlinko and Backlinko fame and Exploding Topics. So he created that course. It was my first ever premium course, which was about $1,000, I think. And that introduced me to loads more different concepts. And I started doing that, and I started getting more results. And then I took Neil Patel's year-long course. He had an advanced marketing program. I took that course, paid £470 a month for coaching from his team for a year. That was a year solid. And then in the end, I started having little results. My agency started to get better performance, and I hired staff, and that's kind of like the evolution of what happened. I just worked with different clients, lots of different clients. The agency was doing really well, and then until COVID hit. And then after COVID hit, I lost all my clients because I let them out of contracts, because those that asked, I let them out, because that's just the way I am. And then I ended up sort of just building it back up, and I built it back up again. And if I'm honest with you, I got asked if I wanted to join another agency, which is not the one I'm at now, but it was my last agency. And I thought, I've never been inside anyone else's agency. I've never seen what other people can do and what they're doing and how SEO looks there. So I did that. And then I kind of felt that I needed to change from there after about a year. So I joined where I'm at now, which is JBH, and we're a digital PR and SEO agency based in Manchester, and we have an office in London as well. And yeah, that's like the version of how I am. That's all the background you need.
Wow. So I was wondering, how's the search engine in the police department looks like? You seems doing a good job then.
Yeah, so the search engine to wait looked like it was very old. It lasted. We had the same search engine until I left, so it was going for about 17 years, and there was no modifications. It was very old fashioned. It was just green text on a black screen, and it was very simple. It stored the data and allowed us to build links to different people and streets and things. It was an entity-based search engine, so you would have to search on names, locations, and things like that. But also you had bulletins that came up, very, very much like Google, and there's a lot of search engines out there, and they all operate on very similar principles. And yeah, it was a very basic search engine, but it's the same principles that worked on that search engine are what works on Google, and although Google's more advanced, and gives you a bit more. You've got a bit more power there.
So you're familiar with SEO, but you don't have any background other than the police on the search engine before you jump into this industry.
No, I completely self-taught. So the police didn't teach us search engine optimization. They taught us to do the job. This is your job. Write content, write it well, and we were taught how to write good information and good information reports. And the thing about being a police officer, it's 99% content creation, and it's content creation because what you're doing is you're gathering evidence all the time, and you're producing that evidence and you're presenting it to solicitors, you're presenting it to judges. So my job as a police officer was always like 5% action and then 95% paperwork and computer work. So my role there was I didn't have any training. I have never been in an agency until the last ones I'd been in, which was I built my own very successful agency for 7 years, and so I'd learned. Now the one thing I would say is I kind of got the marketing quite right because I've done social media marketing, done I've got over 20 million views on social media for videos. I used to do video creation. So I've got the marketing right. I was a terrible business person. I was very terrible when it comes to business. I didn't understand how businesses work. I didn't understand anything about sales. I didn't understand about value and what you should be charging people, all those kind of things I was terrible at. So whilst I was doing a great job for so many clients, often, I wasn't doing the revenue I should be. It took me a long, long time to understand the business of SEO.
So that's why you're joining the JBH. Tell me more about JBH. What's the company do? Is it solely on SEO or doing a lot of things as well?
We do both. So essentially, we were a digital PR agency. They've been going for 10 years and we've been content marketing, all kinds of stuff. And what they moved into is specialized about 4 or 5 years ago in digital PR. So they've worked with some of the biggest brands in the world to build links for some of the biggest brands in the world. And there's loads of ways they do that. We've got a fantastic book that's just been launched called the Digital PR Playbook. And that's available on Amazon, that is at the moment. Kindle coming out very soon. So basically that's what they were. They were a big link building company. A PR company, a link building company, specializing for brands and consumer brands a lot of the time. And then recently, the last year and a half, they brought me in to set up the SEO department. And the economy is terrible everywhere, but we're still growing. And in the face of every update going, we're doing well. We're growing as an SEO department. We've got staff, and it's been challenging. It's been interesting because I've got to see inside a digital PR agency, whereas most times SEO agencies start adding digital PR, but we've added SEO, so it's really unique. It's going to get a lot of insights, learn a lot about stuff that I never even dreamed of before, and it's helped us to understand and define a model of SEO, which I think we can is scalable, that can be moved forward, and is future proof as well.
That's interesting. So from the digital PR, you add the SEO, and you said that I know the economics is everywhere. Is getting worse, but interesting that you're saying the company is growing. What's your perspective about the SEO in this situation? Whether is it a necessity that business need to apply on their business in order? How about with the rise of social media? What's your perspective on where SEO take place on the business?
Okay, so what I tend to do, the reason why I probably got a little bit more clarity of thought of this is because as a business owner for a long time, I knew what worked and what didn't work. So, I'd spend money on Facebook ads, Google ads, social media posts, and I knew what worked and what didn't work for my business, and then I've worked with a lot of different clients. So it led me to reading a book called How Brands Grow. How Brands Grow is written by a professor called Byron Sharp. And I'm a big reader, so I read books. I read 2 or 3 books a week. And so Byron Sharp is a professor at the Ehrenberg Bass Institute of Marketing Science. And he's world famous. And the Institute of Marketing Science, Ehrenberg Bass, founded by Andrew Ehrenberg, a former marketer. And what they do is they look at marketing from a scientific basis. And How Brands Grow is also basically, how should I put this? How Brands Grow is a book which is written about how all brands grow and the principles behind growth, and there's a sequel to it. And I read those 2 books ages ago, and I always had a trouble reconciling search engine optimization with the whole process of how brands grow. And now to to frame it to you, to explain it. So brands grow through two methods. Well, the main one is sales. So you don't grow unless you've got sales, and if you don't get sales, you can't fund your marketing. So we all like that. Pipeline sales is everything for every business. But sales happen when two things are increased. And the first thing is called mental availability. That's the likelihood of being thought of in a buying situation. And the other one is called physical or digital availability. That's the ease and convenience that somebody can buy from you. So now, traditionally, SEOs, we've tried to apply ourselves to all stages of the funnel, top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel. But when you actually look at marketing from a scientific basis, well, actually, we don't have virtually any impact on the top of funnel. And there's a reason why that is because we're not advertising. What we're doing is we're giving information to people on certain days of the week who are searching for certain things, not searching for what we do or sell as a product. And they're nowhere near close to buying, they're not coming into the market. And they click on our website, we read a blog post, and they come and say, oh, great, I've read a blog post by this company, and it doesn't increase the likelihood of being purchased from. And the reason why it doesn't is something called the forgetting curve. Now, the forgetting curve is a feature of memory. So basically, is that if we don't use information, we lose information very quickly. In a matter of days, we forget PIN numbers, we forget loved ones' birthdays. But it's highly unlikely that you're going to remember a brand from a blog post you read 12 months ago. But we will remember brands when we're very close or coming into the market to buy. And that's the sweet spot for SEO. And so from an SEO perspective, when you start getting into the marketing science thing, you realize how much money is wasted in SEO incorrectly, because we're all about these traffic graphs. Oh, look, I've got tons of visitors. Well, unless you're in the publishing business of SEO, which is trying to get traffic for ad revenue, what really you want to get leads. And that's where it's almost all down at the bottom end of the funnel, what we can sort of consider the bottom end of the funnel. But the bottom end of the funnel shouldn't be thought about as a funnel anyway. What we are is we're in the business of connecting consumers with brands and businesses that sell what consumers want, because consumers have problems. Consumers come to search engines with problems. So what we actually in the business of is we are weirdly creating physical availability or digital availability. We're making brands more easily purchased from. Now, this is where it gets a little funky, because there's a lot of marketing principles going on. So physical availability is also generates some mental availability. So for example, you're in the supermarket, you're walking down an aisle, you're looking at you need some deodorant, and you're looking at the brands, and you see a brand you've never seen before. Never seen the advertisement, never heard of it. It's got interesting packaging, you pick it up, you look at it, and then you don't buy it. You go and buy another one. A couple of weeks later, you come back to the store again, you need some more deodorant, you pick up another, you see that same brand. You pick it up and you put it down again. You think you're tempted, not sure. But then about 4 weeks later comes by, and you go down and you pick up that brand again. And you see it, okay, I'm going to give it a try. And then you become a converted person to that brand. Now, a lot of products and services are discovered in the aisle. And supermarkets have what they call a swatting fee. So a charge in which products have to pay to be positioned on the aisle. Because we know that products that are in eye line are more easily purchased because we can see them. They're at our eyesight. And they want that premium space. And that's kind of how SEO works, really. We are the P in product placement. So what we do is SEO is the fee you pay to get your products on the shelves. And what you do is you pay the SEO company, and they do that work, and they put you on the shelves. And when you're on that shelf, you increase the likelihood that you can be purchased from, because people are coming around you. Now, you want to be on as many shelves as possible. So every aisle is a keyword. Every aisle is a distinct keyword, and buyers are walking down. So what you want to do is be on as many aisles as possible. Now, from an SEO point of view, this is something we're terrible at, and we're working on. I'm working on it all the time. Is we are terrible at selling what we do and how it leads to attribution. What's the attribution like? And that's because for years and years, paid search has won based on last click data. So it's one based on last click data, and they've got all the budgets, and now they're going to brand bidding and things like that to try and keep that going. In reality, when you look at the volume of keywords that you can get on actually a buyer intent pay, a keyword. So I know you're ranking for deodorant for sale or deodorant online or whatever. you rank and you gain thousands of little variations of those keywords for the page. The value there is massive. But what you're doing is you're increasing that likelihood of being purchased from by percentages. So let's just say you manage to rank for your keywords and you go from having a 1 in 100 chance of being purchased from to a 2 in 100 chance of being purchased from. Now that doesn't mean necessarily you're going to be purchased at every time, but you increase that slight input, and you increase the likelihood of being purchased from slightly by 1 to 2. Now 1 to 2, you think, what's that mean? Well, 1 to 2 means you could potentially double your business. So from an SEO point of view, where SEO comes along, we're a growth marketing channel. We're a channel where businesses can reduce their reliance on paid search, and it's competitive. Because SEO is organic, it's about having the best SEOs, the best talent, the best agencies, the best skill, the people that understand SEO better. But what you're getting as a client from this is the ability to compete in a marketplace which isn't about pay to play. It's actually about the skill of the practitioners who are doing the service. And what happens then is you can double or even triple your business revenue through ranking. There's very few marketing channels where you can go and say, right, if I rank, if I do this, am I going to double my revenue? If you go and put a load of cinema ads out or a load of advertisements all over the place, are you going to double your revenue or triple your revenue? No, highly unlikely. You might increase a little bit. But with SEO, what you're doing is you're going to the bottom of the funnel, you're being present for buyers, and that's the superpower. The ability to potentially double or triple a client's revenue, and that's what SEO does. And we've got to start singing that tune a bit more confidently and a bit more powerfully.
So, in that case, that's a very good explanation about how important using the SEO for business. And I believe the listeners, those who are business owner or marketers, love to double or triple their revenue. But where to start in your perspective? Because in SEO nowadays, there's a lot of place to start. But in your perspective, what is the best way for brands or for businesses to start their SEO process?
Okay, so the SEO process, you first of all, you have to commit to the goal. So no one does SEO. The problem with SEO is people dabble. They say, okay, well, can I do SEO? Can I start with a low budget and things like that? And I get why. And now if you have a low budget, how should I put this? I'm not against low budgets. No one's just going to go and spend mega money on SEO.
Yes.
I understand people want to believe and people want to see some impact. So this is the first hurdle to get through. So you're either going to be a believer or an unconvinced person. So if you're a believer and you believe SEO, then go and look at the data around you. You look at the marketplace and you look at the businesses ranking. And you look at the businesses ranking for the keywords that you'd like to rank for. And you look at that and think to yourself, are they bigger than me? Are they bigger than our business? Well, yes, they are. Well, that's likely to be because of the SEO, or certainly in part of it, because that extra growth will fuel all the other profits and all the other marketing. Now, here's where it gets a bit funky. If you're looking at that and thinking, yeah, but can I do it? And I'm a bit unsure. The answer is go and get a low retainer on SEO right now. It's going to go and pay £1,000, go and pay £2,000, £3,000, go pay £500, £270. What you want to do is find something that can actually assure you that SEO works. Now, I'll give you case studies here. Overnight, we've made some changes on a client page. They're ranking position 1 featured snippet over in the last 24 hours. They grabbed the featured snippet. They were paid position 8. Now we've managed to move them up to position 1. We've proven to that client that SEO works. There's no doubt about that. They're seeing the changes. They're doing it. We've got that from a lot of clients because SEO is actually it's really powerful when done right. Now, for any client, I say go and get a budget. Go and get a little budget, $500, $200, whatever it is you can afford as your business, and go and actually just test out. Now, what you're not doing is, with these small budgets, whether you set them up for a month, 6 months, or 12 months, what you're not doing is trying to say, okay, I'm trying to get ranked on page 1 for all my target keywords. Oh, SEO didn't work. I'm not there. SEO is terrible. That's not what this is about. This is about employing somebody, an agency or a member of staff or whoever you want, a freelancer, and it's about looking to see whether or not moving things and changing things on your website actually increases or decreases your ranking. Now, when you see that it does, And we all know it does, because we know bad SEO gets people decreased and good SEO gets good people increased. But what you then do is say, look at the input, okay? Look at the input, what the agency did. Look at the output, the business benefit. I can see the rankings increase. You can see that because you'll get a traffic report. You can see, now you're not looking for massive results. You're looking for tiny results. No big wins. It's going to be unlikely. If you get big wins, fantastic. You found an SEO genius. If you're paying peanuts to them as well, hold on to them and love them forever. And that was like how I started my career. I charted very little, but I did really well for people. But when you see a little bit of an increase in your rankings for the things you want to rank for, you know it works. So from that point on, that's when you make sensible decisions about budget. Now, if you cannot afford to spend much on SEO right now, if you really can't, it's fine to spend a little, because spending a little will compound over time, because Google starts to get more data about your website, you'll start to rank, and that's fine. You're not in a position for growth. You've got to do other marketing things to acquire more things. But what you don't want to do is do nothing and let the competitors continue to get ahead and ahead and ahead. You want to try and keep closing that gap a little bit at a time. Now, when you see success, and when you've got the right financial market and you've got the right budget, or you want to grow and you're aggressive with your growth strategy, that's a time when you pour more money into SEO. And you say, okay, we've proven it works for our business. We know that SEO does help websites to rank higher. We know that that's going to probably increase our revenue, because we can see that in our competition. And then you put the investment in more, and you keep investing until you get what you want. Say you might have a bad performing agency and have to swap them out. That doesn't mean you abandon SEO as a growth channel, because the objective is to activate that channel for your growth. That's the objective.
That's good perspective. So we can start small and then growing bigger and bigger. I think that is the best way every business, because in my agency, people are hesitate to take the SEO at the beginning, because they think like, how long do I need to wait until the SEO making progress and everything? So it's nothing waste with your doing SEO, right? Like you say.
Yeah, what you don't want to do in this, there's a lot of non-believers in SEO. We know that. You know, people have handed 2-3K to an agency and they've not had results, and results don't happen for a lot of reasons, because people are after absolute success. So, for example, there's unrealistic expectations of SEO. So the idea, if you're a small business, or let's say you're a small seven-figure business, okay, earning 80,000 turnover a month or something like that, and the SEO agency asks for 2,000 or 3,000 from you. Well, they give you give them 2,000 or 3,000, and they do SEO, but you're not ranked on page 1 after 12 months or 6 months. That doesn't mean the SEO has failed, but that means the actual fact is that you might have people investing more in their SEO. The fact is that you know, it's just not worked yet. You've got to keep going and keep going and keep adding. Because the idea that you can suddenly pay, there's this idea that you can pay $24,000 or pounds, or $30,000 or pounds, and that could double a business from 1 million to 2 million is fairly illogical. Because if you could spend $24,000 and then you can double the revenue from 1 million to 2 million, well, that makes SEO the biggest steal in history. And it's not the way it works. So it isn't the way it works. So you have to go into an SEO relationship with realistic expectations. The problem is every SEO agency sells results, because we've got to be in that marketplace of selling wins. And miracles do happen in SEO. SEOs are miracle workers. We've done wonders with budgets because we are generally underappreciated. But in reality, what I suggest to anyone is just start. What you're looking for is improvements in rankings. And don't see this as a marketing ROI thing. This is one of the biggest mistakes people make. People judge the performance of SEO based on return on investment, whereas ROI is an efficiency metric. And it's something you judge over a long, long period of time. So if you were to go back to a business that's generating millions online in the car insurance space, and you were to look at their SEO investment in comparative to their millions generated organically, the ROI is fantastic, but over a long period of time. If you start judging ROI of SEO within like 6 months, 12 months of the SEO campaign, then it doesn't work, because it's not efficient. It's not an efficient marketing channel. It's an investment in your own business. It's an investment in your website asset. So what you've got to do is judge it based on key performance indicators. So what you're saying is, okay, well, how are we improving? Are we ranking? And you have an honest relationship with the SEO agency, and you have a dispassionate one. We say, okay, well, how are we doing? Okay, can we improve it? Can we have some options? And you do things dispassionately, because we're dealing with Google, and you're not spending 100 million on your SEO. What you're doing is you're spending a very small fee on your SEO. Now, it might be a big part of your marketing budget. You spend on your marketing budget. But bear in mind, that's all about what you decide to invest. However, what I am of the opinion of is that SEO it's one of the most effective marketing channels when it comes to growing and reaching customers online who are ready or in the market to buy. There's very few channels that can do this and can reach that volume of customers. So that's where we've got to be a little bit smarter. And as a business, we're really, really bad at singing our own praises, because we feel that we have to hustle to get clients. Whereas what we need is the market to change their view of SEO, to be far more patient, but to understanding what it does. And that's what we've got to focus on, the education of.
Good one. So and you're doing a lot on digital PR and basically on digital PR. How's the future of digital PR and in the SEO world?
Okay, this is really interesting. Digital PR is going to become the link building tactic. So when you think about link building, there's only a few different ways to do it. Guest posting, statistic posting, things like that. All the old tried and tasteful. Now, I'm actually not against guest posting. Guest posting can be really effective. I write guest posts because I want to be in front of somebody's audience. And that's the best way to think about guest posting. Okay, I'm going to get a link, but what I want to do is be in front of someone's audience. And that's all digital PR really is. Digital PR is a combination of content marketing, a bit of SEO, and also brand marketing. So what you do is you create content, be that in a variety of formats. It can be expert commentary, you can create data, you can have something interesting to say about something that's going on. You could have a story, you could be something timely to do with a calendar, the world calendars that we have, events and things like that. And what you do is you go to the journalists and you say, we've got a story for you. Our client's got telling this story that you might be interested in, that your audience might be interested in. And what we want to do is, in exchange for this story, we want our client featured. And that's it. That's the deal with digital PR. So you go to journalists, we create the news, the journalist gets the story, they put it on their website, they get traffic, they're KPI'd at traffic, which is fantastic, And then what ends up happening is everybody who sees the brand will see. Now, there's a couple of really interesting things going on now. So the first thing is brand mentions. We know brand is a huge part of the future of search engines, because brands, as somebody, I forget which Google employee said it, but brands sort out the cesspool. Brands are safety signals. And what it does, and brands train the LLMs. So, the LLMs of the future, the search engines of the future, are being trained on vast quantities of data. And if brands are showing up more often, being mentioned to do with their subject matter, that's what's going to be training search engines. So that's great brand mention. The second thing is you usually get a link. Do follow or no follow. You'll get a link for a lot of these times. If you get a brand mention, brilliant. You get a link, brilliant. And sometimes you'll get both. Sometimes you'll get one or the other. And the links feed into this algorithm, as we know. And the other cool thing is these links and mentions get indexed virtually straight away, because it's news. Now, the other thing which is going on, which is really interesting, is that when somebody reads the news, so say if you have a news article and it goes out to 100,000 people, 100,000 people click on that news article, and out of that 100,000 people, there might be a small percentage who are in the market or coming into the market to buy what you sell. So let's say you're a car company. Let's say you're Nissan, for example. And Nissan hire a company to do digital PR, and we get Nissan mentioned in the news that day, in the digital PR. 1,000 people, 100,000 people read that article. Out of that 100,000 people, 500 are thinking about buying a car in the next couple of weeks. And out of those 500 people, 200 people are actually buying a car in the next week. So what ends up happening is they go onto the forecourt, they've read an article, they've clicked on a Nissan link or read something by Nissan, they go on the forecourt, and they're more likely to see Nissan, like any advertisement would, because you brought that brand availability. But what then happens is they might click on the link as well and go to the Nissan website and so on and so on. So what we're doing is we're doing a bit of SEO, a bit of content marketing, or certainly something that helps SEO, the content marketing, and the brand marketing as well as tapping into all those brand mentions. So digital PR is the fastest, most effective, and most efficient way to build links, as well as building other business valuable things that are valuable to your business. So digital PR works in a way that is most effective and most efficient for SEO growth.
So, in your when business, I heard it from someone telling me, right now the digital PR will be something that is more important to build the authority, because with the mention only from the media, it will rank you higher than any other things. What do you think about it? What's your perspective on it?
Without a doubt, that's true. So now, context is important. So there's a lot of people do some funky things with digital PR. You know, you can be talking about the weather, and it's a company that sells I don't know, cars, for example. You know, there has to be some context in that. The story has to be related to what you sell. There's no doubt about that, or some way of some kind. There's a lot of ways you can do that. So relevance and context is a thing. But yes, we've got the evidence, we've seen it. When you generate good quality backlinks, you can have rapid improvements and increases in rankings. Now, there's a volume thing like everything, you know, there's a quality thing like everything. But realistically, digital PR is something you just turn on for your business. And you have to earn the links. This is the difference. So we know that you can go and buy media links. That's the whole thing. Mm-hmm. But the pages which get interacted with by real search engine users are the things that Google's looking at. You know, did that a page? I have no doubt that there is some kind of ranking algorithm out there that says that if a page gets lots of clicks and traffic from the news feed, then the links on that page are more important than links on pages that get no interaction. I'm certain that is going to be out there, whether it probably is nav boost or things like that. But my view is a link that is seen and clicked on and read is far better than a link that's not on a page that no one's reading. So yes, you can go and buy media links. No one's going to read what you put there because there's no effort to get the story. And that's what digital PR is about. It's earning the links. Because if you have a good enough story, one story can generate 20 to 30 to 100 good links. Whereas it's very hard to do that building them. Building a link at a time is hard. That's why digital PR is so successful, and that's why so many people are now coming through to it. And of course it changes because the media in different nations is very different than the media in the UK and the US and some places in Europe. So digital PR is evolving for a lot of people. But basically it's content marketing at its heart.
That's awesome. I look forward to learn about it more from you. And you're coming to Bali at the end of this year. Are you gonna discuss about it, or what you gonna discuss during the conference?
Yeah, so I mean, I'll be honest with you. Search is changing so quick. When I originally came to Bali, there's a lot of angles we could have done. But I think what I'm gonna show people is the whole bigger picture of how brand is the future of SEO. So we're now got to think very differently as SEOs, and we've got data, and I'll bring some case studies and things like that. But we've got to start looking at digital PR and SEO and marketing full stop, rather than not being siloed away. SEO is probably one of the biggest parts of marketing. And so brand is the future of SEO, but also SEO is the future of brand. And I'm going to explain how these things work. We're going to talk about share of search. We're going to talk about the importance of share of search. And we're going to talk about ways and metrics in which you can go to your clients saying, Luke, SEO is big. You need to invest in SEO. This is where the battleground for buyers really is. Because that's where everyone's searching. Everyone's always searching. And that's why consumers buy and make their decisions. It's just that we've been told a very convenient lie that all you need to do is give Google some money to rank and Google to get those nice little links in the ads, and that's your job done as a marketer. And the reality is the growth is happening in SEO. So that's what we're going to talk about, and that's what we're going to learn how to do it, and we're also going to learn how to explain it to other people.
That's awesome. Looking forward to learn from you. in person in Bali. Well,
I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you very much, Andrew. That's the very fruitful 30 minutes discussing with you with all the SEO. I hope the listeners are enjoying as well.
Pleasure. Thank you so much for having me here. I am so looking forward to coming to Bali because we're going to give one of the best presentations you have ever seen on SEO, and I guarantee you the crowd are going to be loving it. But more than that, you're going to be able to come up and ask me some questions about it afterwards. So don't be afraid. I'm going to give you a presentation that you're going to be immediately actionable in your careers and your businesses. And then afterwards, you can come and ask me lots of questions and get free consultation almost. So, come on board and have a laugh. We can have a drink by the bar and we'll have a great time. And I look forward to seeing everyone.
Awesome. I hope you enjoy our conversation. I got 3 or 5 aha that can be applied to my business directly. If you enjoy this kind of session, you can join us at SEOcon Forum Bali. You can check it out at seocon.id, where we're gonna discuss about SEO evolution, the next 8-figure opportunity that you can apply into your business. Andrew will come to SEOcon Forum Bali. Another speaker from Greg Gifford, Heather Visiok, Jess Coles, and many more. You can check it out at seocon.id, and I hope I can see you there. Okay, thank you for joining us for another episode of SEO 911. Meet you again on another episode.